What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations. I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. And also once a month, I get the privilege and opportunity to host conversations for fathers that are co-sponsored by Dad Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization, and Dove Men Care. But you know what? I also get another privilege once a week. I get to hang with two Black lady thought leaders named Aisha K. Staggers and Jill Jones. And very happy to have them here on a Sunday evening before another, probably another boring week in America. so let's say hello. So Aisha, how we doing?
Well, the country hasn't been lit on fire, at least not on our coast. Jill's coast.
Oh, good catch. Good catch. And how's your daughter doing?
She loves college, and I love that she loves college, so I'm good.
Wonderful. And
I was the one to worry about, not her. Remember last week?
That's right. You're the stressed one.
Yeah.
Oh, and Jill D. Jones, what is going on?
It's just going. Trying to keep up with everything. I think it's been hot here. Unfortunately, we have a lot of fires going on. So the air quality hasn't been so great up north and all through that whole area. It's just been really hot. And I think it's the electrical part of it with the lightning bolts that's been a little bit mind-blowing to hear that that's how many of these fires have been started.
Wow.
So far, what we know. And it's devastation beyond. So many people have lost their homes and several have lost their lives. And then our people were short-staffed with the firemen. So
yes,
normally there are volunteers from the prison system. And I think that even many of those guys are sick and they can't do it. And I know a lot of people are torn about, I've said things like, oh, why do they have them helping? These guys actually do volunteer their service. They get paid a little bit, not what they probably should, but it's pretty amazing. But it just shows you how short on manpower we really are here now that the fires are something that we can expect every year like clockwork.
Wow. Well, you know what? We got a lot to share about tonight. I know you two ladies have a lot you want to chat about. And before we go any further, I want to shout out Dr. Tachi, who's watching us on the Get Vocal platform. The Real Django 411.
Oh, hi.
He's on YouTube. He goes, yes. So we know there are a few people that are happy to see Jill and Aisha. They're going to drop their knowledge bombs. So let's get at it. First conversation tonight, the Dems convention. What are your thoughts?
For it to be because it was an unconventional convention, it actually was really good. It was well put together. I was wondering, how are they going to carry this, off? Because usually you're used to seeing all of the different kinds of people, the balloons and all that other stuff, and all of the excitement of an audience. But I really like the way that they pulled it off, and I like the roll call. The roll call was my favorite part.
Okay.
Because you got to see all of America and different people, so I enjoyed that part the most. Even though Kamala's speech was great, I love Kamala. Joe's speech was great. And I think you're going to see a real contrast between what we're going to see starting.
Stop now. Let's say one subject at a time. Don't
starting tomorrow. Yeah. I think you're going to see a real contrast. So, yeah.
Okay. Jill, what did you think?
I was excited. I think that, at first the beginning nights, people were a little bit like, oh, is this what it is? It was sort of just moving very calmly. And I really think that the nation had been in shell shock to see something that was respectful, civil, well, professional, without the hysteria, the bells and whistles that we get every day. It just really highlighted to me just how much we've been affected by this chaotic populist who's in office, and the appetite that the nation has developed for populist rhetoric, that we're almost not even civil anymore to each other. We're ready to just forego that because we now look to be entertained rather than consuming legitimate, solid, foundational information. So it was really, it's really like the whole freaking country is a reality show. I love the whole, how it proceeded through the days. Michelle Obama killed it with her speech as well.
Yes.
As
Okay. Can we just
Obama.
let's just hold on that. What were your thoughts about her speech?
Powerful woman, powerful, incredibly stunning, knowing what she stands for all Black women, when we see how many hits she's had to take. So her success, when I see her, is my success. I root for her like a sister, like her mom, like a friend, because I know she takes the punches and she's still flawless and impeccable and just has the grace and something
Jill,
that
you take
I guess
punches
the
too,
rest.
though. You take a lot
I
of
know,
punches too.
but not where it's been so disparaging to every, brown woman and what they stand for in this country. For me, she really gets to them, and I would stand on a line with her any day to protect her, because I think she has so much integrity, and I just love her, and it really delights me to see her because I don't think she's full of BS. I really think she's legit. And she actually makes me think I need to try to always be a better person too, because this is something that we as Black women, just like, we've been new, we know what this is. So we have to be exemplary with everything that we're doing. We can never get too comfortable.
Well said. Aisha, what did you think about Michelle Obama's speech? And it was a different type of speech because she went in.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. And I was just like, so, it's like everything she does impresses me. Every time you think that she does something where she's like outdone herself, she does something else. It's like she takes it a step further. I was happy that she named the evil that we have, that she put a name to it. She put a face to it. There wasn't any ambiguous talk. I'm also glad that her husband named the evil, that they just called it out by name, said who it was, and said that the country can't go on like this.
Yeah.
True.
He went in deeper than usual past presidents. He did not fool around. He did not fool around on that. I think that the unity aspect was really promoted through that. And also I thought who gave a good speech was Bernie Sanders too.
Yeah. He did. I wish his crew would kind of accept where he is, because the beautiful thing about Bernie is he is ever changing, in a sense that he's going to support this because he knows how important this election is. And, you've got the people who are with sour grapes still. He's moved on from that, but he will be involved in this next process of rebuilding the country. He totally will be, because there's going to be a mammoth of people who ran for this that will come in and embody some position. Because, to be honest, everyone who was running, Kamala, Buttigieg, all of them, Amy, all of them, even Elizabeth Warren, she's done some fantastic things in the middle with this USPS, the Postal Service situation. Everybody will have hands on. This is all men on deck.
Yeah. 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 And I think that what made it such a good convention was that you got to see this bringing together of different ideas, and that it was okay to have this diverse mix of ideas under one tent, under one party. We know that, and I've said this on Twitter, I've said this to anyone who asked me. We know that this week coming is going to be 4 days of 4 days, 4 separate white power hours. That's all
True.
it will be. That's all
That's
it will
very
be.
true.
It will be that's all. I mean, that's literally all it will be. It would be like the White Citizens Council having their vigils on TV 4 separate nights a week, and they'll throw in Tim Scott and Ben Carson.
Yeah.
And call that diversity.
Hey,
okay?
but Candace didn't even make the cut.
Candace didn't make the cut, and neither did polyester and paprika.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Talk about using people to a degree. They look like real mofos sitting on the side right now.
Yeah. And
like mo and fo.
Put it this way. You know when you're like going down and that you're about to end, when Fox News like kind of puts you to the side. That's what they did to Stacey Dash when Mitt Romney was running. They knew Mitt was going to lose because they kind of sidelined her, and she was so surprised. It was just, I don't know. I just know that I liked seeing the fact that we're black, brown, every color of the rainbow. We're different ages, different types of involvement. Some people write their involvement. Other people go out and physically march their involvement.
Yes.
We have people who were long-term Democrats, and some people got upset that there were that many. There were so many Republicans that came through and spoke.
Yes,
but
I thought about that.
But you know what? Here's the thing. I think it was necessary, because I think it was necessary to say that, no, this man is this bad. He is this bad. And that there are these nomad Republicans that have nowhere to go. But we are such a big tent party. We will take them in. We know they won't support our ideals and everything, but we know that they know that we right now are positioned better, that we are a better party than they are right now to handle where we are and handle this moment in the country, because they know that Republicans cannot do it in the state that they're in.
No.
And they know that they have a home, and that the Democratic Party is open up to them to have a home. It tells you better about the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party is obviously an open door policy, party. We've meant what we've said is that people are all welcome. All are welcome. That the Republican Party, on the other hand, has been shutting people out, especially for years, but especially when Donald Trump came. And one of the things that I noticed that someone said today was this about QAnon coming through the Republican Party. Was that if you think that QAnon won't take over the Republican Party, remember the Tea Party.
Oh, absolutely. They are a faction of the Tea Party, actually.
Exactly.
They are.
The Tea Party took the Republican Party further right. That's how you have Trump now. QAnon gets its hooks in what's a Trump party. You're going to even go further to the right. So the Republican Party doesn't even exist. It's not, once this is over and Trump is out, the Republican Party is not going to exist. There will be no Republican Party, because everybody after he's gone is going to be like, now what?
Right. I mean, if you have to spend how long with crazy in the Senate, these new Congress people that might be coming in and all of that, and they're certifiable. I mean, we jumped the shark. America has jumped the shark. It's like, it is like the show that just went, poof, oh my Lord Jesus. because, and even on a show, I would have been like, oh, come on, this could never happen. Well, no, it's happening in this country. We've had a bunch of QAnon people protesting in front of CNN yesterday in Hollywood.
What?
It's with signs saying, you know, Pizzagate is real and all of this nonsense. And I just think they're mad. They're mad as a hatter, you know, completely mad. And it's great to find out that in advance. So I'm like, see you later. You cannot reason. You can't. And so, but then there's Mike Pence, and they've asked him in interviews, what do you think? And now their talking point, the Republicans, is, I don't know that much about him. Well, your stupid president is retweeting all of their propaganda. And they must, like, they really enjoy playing people for a fool, but we really have to accept the fact that they say there's like 57% of people here who are not moved at all by the fact that 180,000 people have died from COVID. They do not think it's a big deal. And when you think about that, this country and other countries looking at us, I don't really see, I mean, I have to say, it doesn't look good. I mean, I don't even know why would anybody want to do business with us. I mean, honestly, it's pretty disgusting. It's kind of nasty. Like, whoa, that's huge. That's how messed up American people are.
But okay, so going on that point, and I saw the report yesterday, maybe you two saw it, how 45 in a closed door meeting when he was speaking with Black individuals basically said, yeah, I won. I won. One of the things that helped me win my election was Black people didn't show up.
Right. Yeah.
He says the quiet part out loud all the freaking time. You're not.
But he insults Black people and they like it. The ones who follow him. I'm really questioning them too. Yeah. I mean, like, really? How stupid are you? I mean, you might as well just go back to a hoe and a rake and everything and go back to picking cotton, because you're headed yourself down that road. I mean, I really would just have to say that. Any Black person who supports him is an Uncle Tom. Sorry. Or you just really don't have the brain cells. I mean, it really is like, you know, and then we had this leverage game that Diddy and Ice Cube and everybody was trying to pull in June, that they weren't going to support Biden because of X, Y, and Z. Regular Black people, these Black people can fly out of the country and live somewhere else. You can't.
Yeah.
Don't listen to them. These guys are playing the dozens and gambling with your life. They get rich. They don't care. You know, it's absolutely irresponsible, negligent, and it would be no different for anyone who's supporting him. Might as well go to their relatives if they're Black and put a rope around their neck and string them straight up, because voting for Trump is the equivalent of doing that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, think about it. If Trump gets a second term, he's already been impeached, okay? He gets a second term.
And he needs to be impeached if he's in the second term for the crap that he's done in the middle of all of this.
Right.
But let's just be honest. Even if he walks in the door January 21st, they need to roll it out and get right back into the Senate and take him to the cleaners.
But here's the thing. Unless we win the Senate, Mitch McConnell's not going to take him back to it. So here's the other thing. Donald Trump, in a 4-year term where he could not be reelected, is going to do everything that he can to possibly just blow the country up. He wants no America after he's gone. He wants to be known as the last president of America.
The last emperor.
The last emperor.
Right.
Exactly. He wants to be king. He doesn't want to be president. He wants to be king. And what is bizarre about it is that there are people in this country who are willing to let him do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of sickening, actually, this little game that they play. Even with Mitch McConnell, put it this way. There's a reason Mitch McConnell's not going to the RNC this week. Think about that. He is their speaker. He's the majority leader in the Senate, and even he's not going. Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Jim Clyburn, they all spoke at the DNC. Okay? They all spoke at the DNC. But Trump can't get his leadership to speak.
Yeah, but you know what? Let's hold our breath on that, because after what happened to Alexei Navalny in Russia, maybe that's just a big sign to everybody else about supporting Donald Trump, because they just poisoned him. I mean, it's pretty legit. They poisoned him. And it's interesting, every single time Trump is in some kind of weird, there was somebody else poisoned or killed or, fell out of a window. It's kind of very weird. And I don't think any of them are going to want to ever speak against Donald Trump, because I think he has friends in high places.
Okay, so we're going to move on, but what are you ladies expecting at all from the Republican convention this upcoming week?
Nothing.
Chachi and racism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's short and sweet. So you mentioned a conversation topic about
a lot of like, I can't even say it on the internet.
Okay, all right. I know you've said it before, so I don't know what's stopping you now, but that's all right. Okay, but I want to add one more thing before we move on. Steve Bannon.
Oh,
yes. Yep. They came for him.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. You have to chat about this.
That's right. It was off the coast of my state too.
Yes. And it was the post office who arrested him
for fraud. Oh, my God.
And laundering money.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the wall.
Yeah.
Wait.
Okay. When Aisha starts doing this, it's gonna be good. So Aisha, I'm leaving back. It's all you now. It's all you.
So remember about a year or two ago when that guy posted. Okay, remember before that when the Democrats won in 2018, and then they had that first bill that was supposed to go through with the budget, and Trump wanted something billion number of dollars for his wall, and the Democrats would not give it to him. And so Trump's fans, one in particular who was like a military guy, came home and whatever, said, oh, well, we can raise it, Trump supporters. So he put up a GoFundMe and started raising money, and had raised something like $4 million in like 2-3 days from Trump supporters to build the wall. And so, it came out that he couldn't give it to the government or whatever. So Steve Bannon comes in to help him. Steve Bannon's going to create a PAC, because a PAC can build some wall or whatever, this mysterious wall. So Steve Bannon comes in and they build this PAC, and then they raise $25 million in donations from Trump stands. Because what else can you call them? They're not really voters.
Stands.
So they raise this money, and then they begin to use this money. Most of this money was coming to them in small amounts, not through online donations, but apparently through mail-in donations. This is how they were getting caught. And they were using the money to buy things like this dude that started it. He bought like a boat.
And a golf cart.
And a golf cart. Steve Bannon bought $1 million something or other.
He paid his bills. He paid his legal bills. He paid his alimony or child support, something like that.
But that's not what they were supposed to use the money for. And they built some wall, but it wasn't
because Steve created another nonprofit that could also circumvent through. All of that is illegal.
Yeah.
They thought by changing the little
And see, the paperwork to do the paperwork for all these things had to be mailed in too. So that also is fraud. What the next thing that's going to fall down on him is because he did all these created all these little entities and organizations. The IRS is the next one to come down on him, because you can't create these organizations without creating some kind of paper trail with the IRS first.
Exactly.
Because it requires IRS. If you're creating
you have to have the number and all of it. Yeah,
exactly.
totally.
Yep. So
IRS for me, it's thrilling. It's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting.
And it's like when you least expect it. So it was kind of like, oh, good, they got him. That'll keep his ass out of Europe for a little bit, spreading his, vile rhetoric.
This is what happens when you fund racism, kiddies.
It's true. I mean, and it just keeps going into it was like the other day when the court had ruled that they could get Trump's his taxes. Yeah. And I still was like, I actually even tweeted to Cyrus Vance, okay, so just get the subpoena or the warrant and get it from the IRS. Why do we even have to it's done? Okay, bye, let's go get it.
Why are you?
I don't get that part. Why are you still talking? Is what I'm saying. Why y'all still talking? Go get the damn papers.
Why are you asking him to turn over pieces of paper?
Don't ask him anymore.
He's not going to.
It keeps going around and around. If somebody says yes, you can go get it, I'm going to get up and go get it. Exactly. I ain't going to ask your ass no more.
Exactly. Ask Mary Trump. She'll tell you.
Yeah. She hates her brother, apparently. No, even the sister today said he wasn't trustworthy. It's all on tape. The sister said he's can't be trusted. The sister.
Yike. Yes, I heard a bit of that video. I went, that's scary. So just to catch up here, Real Django saying there's something really odd about Black 45 supporters. I find them really quite sad. There's no rhyme or reason with Black folks singing 45's praises. He also says, I'm sending multiple tweets of a 2020 voters checklist for people to make sure that they bring them with them, even if they're just dropping off their ballot. People better be smart and dedicated.
True.
Well, that's the other thing,
thank you,
too.
Django. Thank you.
Yes,
it's true. I agree with him. I don't know what's wrong with them.
And here's the other thing too. They think they're going to get that Trump check. They're looking for that
they
Trump
think
check in the mail.
Also, it's been let's be honest. There have been a few that have been the crabs in the barrel that have gotten a little bit successful and made a few coins. But I think with him throwing a few of these little pundits to the side and under the curb, like those sisters and Silver and Frost, what are they called again anyway? And the other one, Candace Owens. I think, these are never mistakes. I don't think Trump makes mistakes. If he's pressured into having somebody, he'll do it, but it still doesn't mean he likes them or he wants them. He is a racist. He doesn't like black people, brown people. He wants to make this country all white. And as people knew during the days of slavery, they always wanted that. If they can get a couple of little stupid followers to support their cause, they will smile and grin. And in a few years, have no problem ripping you to shreds and making you nothing. And taking your money and taking your property and taking everything that you worked for. I mean, in a really weird way, a sick way, it might be worth it just to watch that happen to some of these people.
Well, that's why you had Steve Miller in the conference room asking them to raise their hand as to who wanted to separate these children. Okay? They had that going on. That was what they took a hand vote as to how they were going to separate 25,000 children from their parents.
Right.
Okay, that tells you what kind of people they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just on no other basis other than they were brown children.
Yeah,
and they didn't want America to look that way.
And his wife wore a jacket that said, "I don't care, do you?" I will never be able to reconcile that. There is No, there's nothing that's not just a wardrobe faux pas.
No, that was intentional.
Yeah.
We have a first lady who we came from having a first lady who went to Princeton, then to Harvard Law, to having a first lady who's a mail order bride, who has more butt ass naked pictures on the internet
Right.
than she does political speeches.
And she too is being consciously portrayed as a victim and not a volunteer when she is that. And there is a part of me that's trying to figure out why. And I think I think I've mentioned this before. I think it's to appeal to women who are the bored housewives who have bad husbands, and this is what we have to put up with. That's what Melania represents, but she is not a victim. She's a volunteer. She gonna get her money when all of this is over, and she gonna be gone. And whatever her deal is, I don't know whose kid is that anyway. That boy is like, sorry. I mean, honestly,
what basketball player?
Yeah,
in the
yo.
NBA fathered that child?
No
because
offense, but
uh,
I don't even know. Does he have sperm healthy enough to make something like that?
Because Blake Barron, whatever his name is too tall to be Trump's dad. Trump is 5'10", maybe on a good day.
It's 5'11"
with a shoe lift.
Got the lifts, yeah. It's weird. Yeah. I don't know, because it's a mystery, and I don't know, but.
Well, I just want to interrupt here. Real Django is saying about Black American supporters of 45. Yes, they think that they're getting paid. They're going to get paid.
They're going to get kicked to the curb.
They will. It's really true. They're going to get Herman caned.
Okay, let's move on after this. This is someone I don't know too much about, but Aisha does. Rose McGowan.
Oh, God. Pazzo, as my grandmother was like that. Pazzo. Crazy. It's now revealed itself. She's milked Harvey Weinstein stuff.
Yeah.
He raped her. He did this. She's in the Me Too movement. Oh, you got to go and tell it, because really, then she starts biting. Even Aisha tweeted to her, and she starts this is how they're so psycho, retweeting like she's now down with us Black women. I was like, bitch, please sit your way. We don't need them. This is my only thing before we get, some of these white folks. I was reading an article by Roxanne Gay, who was saying, she gets all these things in the mail, in her email every day from white feminists going, what can we do? And she's basically now it's on us to educate you all on what to do. The suffragette, their anniversary was just up, and it's so beyond at this point. But yet again, it's always a white woman who wants to jump right in and be our mouthpiece and defend us. Sit down. We don't need Rose McGowan. No.
Rose McGowan's out here talking
to lunch. This is her career now. She's only an activist because she was raped and molested. My mom was raped too. She didn't become a speaker on rapes and how, give me a break. These are people who figure out how to brand themselves. It's just as Hollywood is the next thing. And these old wenches are sucking it up, because as quiet as it's kept, it kind of made me start thinking that, if I had heard how Harvey Weinstein was, and I never knew anything about the film business, really. How are you going to tell me that girls working in the business didn't? How are you going to play all this? I start to doubt you, because the way she's reworking some of our Black feminists who commentary and what they stand for, too manipulative for me. And it's a real red flag that this bitch is lying and prone to lying and playing it up and will take any dime, because on her show, the Rose McGowan documentary, at one point she was losing her house because of it. So no. No, it's like, what will she do or what won't she do? Sorry about me rattling on, but go on, Aisha.
Well, okay. Here's the background. Rose McGowan, well, we know Tawana Burke started the Me Too movement 10 years prior to Rose McGowan coming out about Harvey Weinstein sexually assaulting her. So she comes out with this Harvey Weinstein sexually assaulted her. And what she gets offended by the most is that Alyssa Milano then becomes a champion for Me Too. Let's be very, very clear. She don't care about some Black women getting sexually assaulted and what Me Too really stems for. Because if she cared, she would care about women like me. She would. She doesn't give a damn about us. She
would have given up parts that she was trying to pass herself off as mulatto, right? Going up for castings of that. Did she ever say, hey, I think a woman who is of color should go audition for this part? Girl, please sit down.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
people remember.
And she started out taking a lot of her frustration out on Alyssa Milano. Because Alyssa Milano's husband works for a creative artist agency, and that was the agency that represented Harvey Weinstein. Now, from what I know, she is now pissed because CAA represents Joe Biden.
Yeah. But guess what? Rose McGowan has been around Hollywood since she was 15 years old, when clearly her parents didn't give a damn about her and let her run and rip and run in the streets all through night. I'm sorry. I'll say what my grandfather said: soon ripe, soon rotten. It really works like that. It really does.
Yeah.
Your ass is flitting around the street. Yeah, you're going to see some shit that you're not educated enough to understand, but your behind should have been home with your mama and your daddy. So Miss Fast Class Ann, now I am not condoning any rape or violence put on anybody, but here's the thing: soon ripe, soon rotten. But now you're going to sit up and take the whole thing for Black women like you really care about us. Why? And you want to talk about Biden and his sexuality or who he raped. How the hell, if you feel that way, why the hell did Rose McGowan take money from Autumn Jackson, who is Michael Jackson's niece, who was the executive producer of her documentary? If you care so much about victims' voices, where's your voice to protect those kids who claim that they were molested by Michael Jackson? Freaking hypocrite. Please,
well,
I don't care where you stand on it, but you gotta have a leg. You gotta have a leg, and you can't be like a sundial all over the place.
Well, here's the other part of it too, and I was saying this to Dr. Vibe before the show started. Well, remember during the 2018 midterms, she was saying, oh, vote blue, because that's the only way women have a chance, and this and that and this and that. And now she's talking about, oh, don't vote for Democrats. Why?
Ka-ching.
For anyone else, but because of what is happening, because of what happened to her. Okay, so don't vote for Democrats because of what happened to me. Are you freaking kidding me? I don't care. It's nothing to say I don't care about what happened to her, but you are not my priority. I have a 17-year-old child. That's my priority.
And I actually don't think I believe her. I think that she's impulsive. There's things that happen. I think that what she gave out is what she got back. Simple as that. That's not my experience. I don't relate to that. And
I don't believe anything
not
she
now
says either, Jill, because guess what? Shortly after, see, this is why she didn't become a very credible person in the Me Too movement, and Alyssa Milano did. Because shortly after all the stuff with Rose McGowan that happened, Rose McGowan got arrested for possession of cocaine. We cannot forget that.
Exactly.
Okay, we
just
cannot
wound the hell up. She's got mega problems. It's like the Sinead O'Connor, and I love Sinead, but it's like, I don't know what happens when these women shave off their hair. I don't know where you're going, you know?
She was trying to get on a plane.
She sure was on a plane through an airport.
And she got caught.
And she thought she was above it all to do this. So now that maybe somebody threw her some coins, because, you know, when somebody shifts like that, that's pretty much what happened. I think her show is over and she needed to get another lifeline. But she doesn't get to have a lifeline on the backs of Black women. So she can just piss right off.
Right. Right.
Exactly. We can fight our own battle on this. And we don't need some white girl coming in with, you know, as I say, white women's tears. Isn't that James Baldwin said it was the drink of America, America's choice drink, white women's tears.
Right.
Oh boy.
And that's why I tweeted what I tweeted was that Rose McGowan is weaponized white tears. If weaponized white tears.
Yes, you laid her out. Yeah. And then, you know, so all that double talk and double fantasy. It's like, it just really upsets me that somebody would use their platform to actually lead my people astray. Yeah, I'm going to fight. I'm going to swim through the mud to be like, no, white girl, sit down. You ain't going to do that here. Because I really do think that, you know, there's something that just has come to light about her that people would have to really question. How do you take money from Michael Jackson's niece, who his voices of victims, but that didn't preclude you from getting involved with something that had a really shady history, and you're upset because Joe Biden is represented by CAA? Girl, get your head out of your ass. And out of mine and my community's ass.
Yeah. She was in the wrong. And I mean, it was like, it just came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you talking? First of all, because this man has been running for president for over a year and a half. And it's like, what? Are you talking now? Because I want to know who's paying.
That's the thing.
To come out.
Who
now.
is?
Because I feel right now like she's being put in to be a female Kanye West. Spoiler. Because there was no, I mean, she didn't even come out the day after Joe made his speech. She came out yesterday with all this.
Wow. Let's move on, folks, because it gets more crazier and crazier. There is a lady that I didn't hear about till recently, and is it Megan the Stallion? What?
Yes.
Who is this? All of a sudden, I hear about her.
She's a female rapper. You probably heard because she and Cardi B have the #1 song now.
Okay, but before we go any further, you're calling yourself a stallion? Can someone help me here? She's refers herself as a stallion.
Yeah.
How does that look good on Black women? I'm just asking.
Dr. Vibe, I think that education is so important, and America has lost the plot. I don't think that even people know. They've changed words. They've changed what the symbol of what the. I don't know if I don't know what this is.
She's in college, or she just finished college. It's
just that I think that there's a really bizarre commitment for young women, to how they've decided to empower themselves. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I feel like I've thrown the conversation up a lot for a bit, but Dr. Tachi says I think
a thing of strength.
It's a thing of strength, and also just like calling herself, quote, a savage, unquote.
Yeah, but they don't remember when Jimmy the Greek was like fired from a job for calling the runner from Jamaica a thoroughbred. Right. It's like, and he too said,
sorry, ladies,
as a thoroughbred.
I'm sorry. I know this isn't the line of conversation for this, but no, I just wanted to get some quick, because I don't get it. So you should get back to Meg. I don't want to call the other part about Megan.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, my concern was this. I was watching all the people, particularly Black men, calling her a snitch for coming out and saying who shot her. She was shot in both feet about a month and a half ago. And she kept quiet about it. And first of all, there was speculation about it, but she kept quiet about it. And I had wondered why she kept quiet about it, because it made things sound fishy. But she did an Instagram live a couple of days ago, and she said why she kept quiet about it, because she was trying to protect this Black man from being killed who hurt her, because she didn't want him to be killed by police. Because too often, rather than arresting Black men who may have committed a crime, may have legitimately committed a crime, they kill them. Police will kill them. So she didn't want that to happen, but she was also worried that they might have just shot up everyone that was there. Because when she was arrested, it's on video. They came with a helicopter came in and police cars from all over the place. But this man, Tory Lanez is his name, and he's another rapper. Rather than appreciating the fact that she hadn't outed it, he kind of just then started letting his press people lie about her and tell these horrific things. And she has said over and over again on social media, I was hurt, I was traumatized. And what bothered me more than anything is that Black women do a lot of protecting of Black men and don't often get that back. Not to the same degree.
Okay, so I'm just going to jump.
I just want to say something really quickly about that. Mm-hmm. I feel that we live in a culture of this whole do not snitch culture, but I don't think it's just because she didn't say it because of X, Y, and Z, or didn't want to get him in trouble. These people have affiliates with gangs, with cartels, with all sorts of things. So coming out and being the one to initiate, like, this is what happened to me, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, she would have been her right to say what happened. But even myself, I remember being around somebody who did something, and because I knew or wasn't sure about their background and who they knew and what gang members they were I didn't say shit. And I don't ever recommend anybody saying shit when you're these days working in jobs, when you're working in if you see people doing some shit, best thing is you sometimes can just leave. It's if that bad stuff starts to go down, you got to leave, because you can end up just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, but you do not know what somebody's affiliation is. It was better to have the police come to her house in a helicopter, because it sort of made her a little bit more exempt in a way.
Yeah. I mean, the other part of it too is that she's looking out for him because he could also get deported.
Well, he probably should be deported. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, pulling that stuff and shooting people in their feet, I mean, that's a no-brainer. But, whatever, the fact is he committed a crime. But for her she was there, wrong place, wrong time. And I really believe that, she did her best to try to not say anything, because you just don't know about people. You really don't. If they're that desperate to do something, they will use you as a patsy. And it looks like that's what he was doing.
Yeah, but it was also the control, it was the disrespect of her and her body by him, and then the turning on her, which was like there feels like there's no kind of protection.
But there isn't, because Dr. Tachi is saying sometimes had this stupid allegiance to the hood. She needs to put herself around higher minded folks at this point. And that's the truth, because when it's like poor Nipsey Hussle, wrong place, wrong time, he tried to bring a higher mind into the situation, as opposed to, and I get it, but that's the risk that you take when you keep this allegiance to the hood, and you're making your money off of these people. So you sometimes can't win. But when you're with low-minded people and that ain't your script, because she's an intelligent woman. I mean, let's be honest. She's intelligent. She's college educated, and but wrong place, wrong time. And hopefully she'll expand and get the hell away from this stuff.
I just hope that our community, particularly Black men in our community are become much more understanding of when they hurt women. That Black women, we don't just need protection from the things that they do, from white people and from racism. Sometimes we need protection from them as well.
Okay. All right.
And I think that's what the whole issue for me was about in hearing that story.
Well,
for me, it's about saving your skin when you're around people that have access to worse people that could hurt your life or your loved one's life. True.
Good point. Good point. I like I said, I'm going, who is this lady? Where did she come from? Because all of a sudden I'm just seeing her on all these feeds. I'm going, Stallion? Okay. All right. You're Stallion. But I guess, which leads me to another conversation that we did have before we came on live. Cardi B interviewing Joe Biden.
And what are your thoughts on it, Dr. Vibe?
Well, these are my thoughts. Can you tell me any other ethnic group that would have a stripper interview a presidential candidate?
This is a reality show. I keep telling you, this is not real here.
Yeah. They had the person that has the #1 song in most countries interview Joe Biden. That's literally what it was.
And she is adorable. She's cute as a button.
That's probably why she is, though.
She's starting to remind me of Jackie Harry. Like, Jackie. Didn't I say that last week? She's Jackie. I love her. Like, she's starting to remind me a little of
Dr. Vibe's voice.
I like her.
Look at Dr. Vibe's face.
But you're right. It's too. But look at what this is the thing. I know you're really kind of freaked out.
I'm not freaked out. I'm just couldn't the no. First of all,
no, but it was Elle magazine too, which is even funnier.
We'll see this. Couldn't you Elle magazine? Couldn't you done better? Really?
No, because we don't have any grasp on authority. We don't have experts anymore. Hell, she'll probably be running the World Health Organization in about 10 years.
Stop it.
Or I know. But this is, I'm not joking. This is where America's headed. The rest of the world isn't, but America is.
So she what kind of imagery are we giving young Black girls? When this, and if you listen to her lyrics.
Yeah. Dr. Vibe, I don't want to be rude to anybody, but America at this point reminds me of a visit I had in Thailand many years ago. And there was a side of the haves and the have-nots. And American women who don't have money here are kind of like that. It's how you jock people for money, how you get over, how you survive. America's been functioning on that level for a long time. And now it's risen to the top. This is normal. And it's really sad that it's something that everybody who's purchasing the records or purchasing, there's no refinement, there's nothing that's even special, there's no quality. It's always about the hustle. And we have really praised that to a degree that, I mean, it's actually quite sad and
so here's
depressing.
I just want to jump in.
Dr. Vibe, we got to be clear though because you did say that she's a stripper, but here's the thing. She's a stripper with a college degree. I know a lot of
I waitressed in a strip club.
Nothing wrong
and a lot of them went to college.
And I have nothing, but what other ethnic community would do that?
Outside of America?
White girls do it all the time.
No. No, wait a minute. Italy had the porn star. Remember? Italy had the congressman who was the porn star, but that hasn't come back around again. That was back in the 80s.
And so do men. Okay. I'll just tell you this.
I agree.
So do men,
I just concerned.
Back in the day, I just
want to share with Black people when Black people do not control media.
This is what happens. This is how we're depicted.
And of course, my go-to person with media, Dr. Tachi, says this is a paradox. Some look at their lifestyle and lyrics as women's empowerment, but I question, is it empowerment if it's done for the male gaze? Interesting.
I agree. I agree with her 100%. I don't think I agree because it's done for the male gaze to get you something. it's not, and anyway, we've got to stop encouraging people to fall for compliments and want all of that stuff. And what is that? There's, oh my God, there's so much rot in this country. How to get down to what manipulations have gone on. Dr. Vibe, this is really, really tragic that our candidate for president has to go through, circumvent through someone like Cardi B to try to get votes and muster up half of those people who aren't even registered.
That's what the real point going. That's
it is.
You have to go to that. I just went, wow. Well, let's move on. And that wasn't supposed to be on the roster, folks, but that just, it's still so, I sort of hit my mind going, Biden, you need to, okay, all right. But hey, I guess
his people probably made him go. He's probably wondering, what the hell am I doing here?
Exactly.
But it's no different than any other time. Now think about it. Every candidate had to do something at one point to get to the younger vote. Bill Clinton had to play saxophone on our City
But I think
Hall.
we looked a little bit more legit as Black people. We looked like, these are not just it's like I'm supposed to be doing an interview in the next few days with Baroness Valerie, who's on the Labor Party. She is from Guyana. And she's an educator. So the interesting thing is that, wow, she's also in England, but here we don't have that level with the academia. It's really, and what we praise and what we go, oh, wow, this is a fantastic mind here. These are people who placate and pander to fandom and likes and tweets.
Okay. Last conversation topic, because that one I'm just going to shake in my head for a while.
I feel you.
White and Jill wanted to talk about white women's tears being the drink of choice for America. I want to hear about this one, Jill.
Well, I think that it's just something that we as Black women, if we have some solidarity, or women of color, we have to still look back to our ancestors. If it's a legitimate quote from James Baldwin, even if it's not, it's really damn good. It is really, it says it all, that we have to always put ourselves in that position, whether we're out and we're dealing with, no matter how, it goes back to Black feminism and white feminism. I think I touched a little bit on it with the Rose McGowan issue. I think that we have to be very, very careful about where we place our allegiance. This may not be the party, the Democrats, okay, they may not have all of the answers, but we have an amazing, educated woman of color, Black woman, who is definitely doing us great service by being there and has an incredible brain and mind and has navigated through all this BS for a while. And I think that we have to not get caught up in the Hollywood stuff and the this and the showbiz of it. We have to get back to education, and we have to fight fire with fire, because in every single situation that you come into when you're in America, if there's white women on TV crying because something happened to them, or if this happened at a job, or if this happened, they're the first to be crying and throwing us under the bus and diminishing our voices. And
particularly in employment,
particularly, and they've had no problem doing it, and to save their skin. And I think that we need to become more than just, the Megan Stallions and those people that they get, people who go to their concerts and, oh, they're so cool. We need power, and the power, and also to be able to address this. And we should understand that we will build this Democratic Party. We will stay involved, and we will totally monitor it and micromanage every step of the way. We're in an election now. We cannot just be like, okay, Joe Biden is in, let's go. We will always, from day one now, take our place at the table. Because the main thing is, young Black women and girls of color, show up. Please show up. And, what's missing is that we do have an education gap here. And we need more of our women educated. and going to schools and getting new experiences. It's so important, and finding new role models that are not people just because they made up a song.
Yeah. And remembering the fact that Black women are graduating from college at a rate that's higher than
So
anyone
true.
else.
And that's why they're coming for us too.
Right. And so we've got to be very vigilant about where we put ourselves and where we put our power and our energies.
And it certainly isn't to you know, when white women use their tears, it's generally a strategic move to silence us. And we have some incredible young women on the Democratic Party, on the ticket, that are just doing some phenomenal things. And we need to be humble enough to follow them and to seek more intellectual commentary and just have a vision for how we see our lives integrated into the government and into our local governments and communities. That's where we also need action. That's where we need it.
Because I'm going to say this, and this is probably the most real thing I will have said tonight, but I want Black women to hear me and to remember this. When Black girls cry, nobody sees it. It's sad that that's a reality, but nobody sees it, nobody hears it. When we cry, our tears don't matter.
No, because we are more influential, and we do have a base that we need to come through. But as soon as we start to, attack, I mean, this is why there's so many Karens at this point. They're hostile. The Karen movement is kind of interesting, because I think we shook their cages, but they're just trying to get back, from when their husbands used to like to, do whatever they did to my ancestors. That's the whole thing with when we were talking before. These women have benefited from systemic racism in this country and can't even just share. It doesn't mean they have to come and have our, we're not asking them to run our movements, but I keep saying they need their own come to Jesus moment about who they are and who they've been indoctrinated to be.
And you got to remember, these women have always been there, going back to slavery. They would treat
they allowed women to be raped and hung and beaten. And then try to get pregnant at the same time the slave was pregnant.
Right. And then they would beat this female slave that they allowed this to happen to, because their husband had just raped them. And there's a book called White Women, Enslaved Women, that I read some 20 years ago, but it talks about this relationship between the two and how vicious it was during slavery. And it just,
my issue with white women and their tears and going into the workplace, we're in a really, just to touch into that one topic I wanted to really speak about, the mental health of our nation because of COVID is really serious. We have people showing up to their offices. There are, and some of these employers are Trump supporters who they actually are acting as if COVID doesn't exist. But they've got people who are strung out, sensitive, freaked out about being in places that are not secured, that are not being overlooked upon, people not wearing masks, and they risk their lives to go and do a job because some of these stupid, ridiculous employers who got PPP money basically are sitting out there and because of Trump, it's it's not a big deal. Well, it is a big deal. We have a mental health problem going on in the workplace with people. They did a study where they are feeling totally vulnerable. They resent the bosses for having made them come back and not try to find other alternatives safer for them to be working and applying whatever abilities they have at these jobs. So then you have this situation where I think that it's incredibly important that and back to the part where if you are a person of color, most of the jobs that people are working in color are younger people who are working in these really even McDonald's has an HR department, but a lot of these other places that people are working, service industries, they're not set up. They don't have managers that are properly trained. They are inept. They are jeopardizing people's lives. They are confrontational. And a lot of times they just want to get rid of people. It is at a very extreme level, because right now, as far as like even with my company that I work, we have training facility management meetings that basically have a check-in with your staff, talk to them, give them a week. Sometimes you need a break. These are really important things, and most of our team works remotely. So, but if someone's delivering something, those are things we have check-ins. But I was really shocked to get the report and find out that so many people are being treated and say that the employers are acting like, oh, COVID's over, go on, get on with it. And they have no sensitivity to it. They have no compassion. They have no empathy. And we have a real mental health problem. I've seen it in the insurance, even that we pay into the company, and seeing with my employees and their visits, and the antidepressants that probably most of them have gone on. This is not funny. It is a national crisis. And I worry about them. You need check-ins with your people because they are on edge. They are on edge. Yeah. And I don't want to be responsible for overlooking. I'm not that kind of person who would overlook the health of my employee. I just wouldn't. I will give them a week off. I will give them pay, but get your head together. It's just a personal thing for me about what we as business people and employers can actually do. And don't hire people and make them your managers just because they work for X amount of years in your company. These are people that it's a job that is taken very seriously. You know, we're a team, and I'm certainly not going to let somebody be commandeering a boat only because they were like dusting it for 7 years.
Jill, I think very, 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 very valid, important insights and points you give, because the effect of 2020 is going to be, I think, going to be even past our lives.
Oh, God. Yeah. People are traumatized. They are traumatized. You know, people traumatized getting into an elevator. They are acting out of character. It's just people that I have, you know, I'm like, you know, maybe you need to take some personal time. No, I don't want to. No, you're not going to lose anything. I just care about you, because if I make sure that my people are good, we're all good.
Yeah.
And I don't use that bullshit, we're a family, and treat people just, no. I know that this year is kind of a loss. It's kind of got its write-off type of thing. Right now, I just want to be a good human and make sure people are okay and get through it. It's bad. I don't want to see suicidal people, and because that's the quiet thing happening.
But I think that's the one thing that we're learning this year is how much people were carrying mentally to work. Now we get to see people having to stay home. You get to see that they were a little bit more relaxed in their work, and they weren't as stressed out. Now people, with the pandemic going, I've seen more people asking for, you know, saying, I can't, my anxiety is up this high, and I think I really need to start taking something for my anxiety or for depression.
And I mean, and these places aren't even providing people with the PPE. You know, it's like people are going out buying, and I'm like, no, you have a new thing every time you come here, because the reality is, I don't know if you washed your mask the other night. I don't know what you did, but I know that all I can do with the environments and what we're doing, we had a filming. Then doing film is very, very intricate, and having a box delivered and doing this whole thing. Everything is new. You touch it new. But is it an expense for employers to actually provide these things? Yes, it is. But stingy pays twice. And I just want to address that to other employers. It's time to get off your asses and stop being such martyrs about all the good that you're doing when you're really missing something, that there's a big mental awareness problem, like you said, Aisha, we've got to really look to the next person next to us.
And especially as Black people, because we are so given to not talking about
No.
mental health the way that we should. We've got to make sure that we take extra care and extra time
Always.
in delivering and caring
Yes.
for ourselves, because, you know, granted, there are a lot of us that do not take medication and
Probably need it.
Well, on that point, we're going to end the epic conversation. I will just add another thing. A number of years ago, someone said to me that they think, and they're Black themselves, they said that every Black person needs a therapist.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. Ladies, thank you for
Thank you.
getting it out of the park as per usual. Thank you for dropping knowledge bombs. Thank you to Dr. Tachi and Anthony for watching this live, and all the others. First things first, Jill, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Probably on Twitter is best, Jill D. Jones. And then on my Facebook page, it's Jill Jones Music, which I found out I can block countries on now. So I blocked all of Russia just during the election because my stuff was getting hijacked.
Oh, okay. And Aisha, are you blocking countries?
No. But I do block a lot of people on Twitter if they're just trolling me. So find me on Twitter at Aisha Staggers, capital AISHA, capital STAGGERS, and I will be happy to add you when I can. If I haven't reached my limit.
Oh my. Okay.
I keep reaching my adding limit, so I have to wait till more people do that, and then I can.
All right. Well, I would, as always, like to say thanks to both you. And I remember to ask this at the end of every of our epic conversations. On a scale of 1 to 10, what are the odds of the Democrats winning the presidential office as of today, August 23rd?
6, 7.
Oh, a scale of 1 to 10. I'm gonna say 9.
Wow. Both of you going 9?
I'll say 7 because I still think we've got to ramp it up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I believe we have to keep being diligent, but I'm going to say 9, considering that today Donald Trump felt the need to have a press conference about some kind of mystery therapy for COVID.
We knew he was going to do that, by the way. We said he would come up with a cure or something. I think I want it to be a 10, but the only reason I'm saying 7 is because I think that the American people, I'm just starting to see that there's a lot more stupid people than I actually knew.
All right. On that note, I am Dr. Vibe, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations. I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. Also, one of the other things I do is once a month, I host a conversation for fathers that is co-sponsored by Dad Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization, and Dove Men Care. If you want to find out more about me, the best place to go is my website, drvibeshow.com. Again, thank you, Dr. Tachi. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for everyone who's watched this live or going to watch or listen to it on the replay. This is how we close it. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions and then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. We will see you soon, everybody. Be well, keep the faith, and walk good. Good night.
Good night.